How did I get here? As the sun began to rise over the beautiful mountains and hills of Big Bend National Park, I found myself reflecting on this very question. Never in a million years did I think I would be here. For years, fear had flooded my heart, making me doubt that I could ever experience this moment. Riding a Can-Am Spyder on the open road through a park as stunning as this, right here in my own backyard. A wise woman once told me that you could live your entire life in the state of Texas and never see all that it has to offer. Now, I feel blessed to finally be awakened and no longer have to close my eyes and dream about visiting the beautiful places I once longed to see. Because fear has no longer clouded my vision, no longer distorting my reality with false evidence appearing real. Having stood before the Grand Canyon and now riding through Big Bend National Park, I am even more aware that God, in all of His splendor, glory, and majesty, is truly worthy to be praised. As I ride my bike through this breathtaking landscape of His creation, I can't help but feel the deep connection between my journey and the beauty of nature that surrounds me. God has given us this incredible world to explore and enjoy, revealing His glory through His majesty and the majestic mountains, sprawling valleys, and serene rivers. Each twist and turn of the road brings me closer to understanding the wonder of His handiwork. Riding through Big Bend, all of my worries of everyday life just faded away, and I could truly appreciate the moment that I was riding in. The mountains in the distance, each ridge standing proud, illuminated by a sun that was so bright it made the colors of the mountains hard to define. You see, it's in these moments that I felt His presence and His love. God wants us to experience joy and adventure and the freedom that comes from exploring His creation. This adventure of riding my bike through Big Bend National Park taught me that it's just not about the thrill of the ride. It's about connecting with the world around me, finding peace and recognizing the beauty in every detail of the ride. Because each ride is an opportunity to reflect on the blessings of life and to marvel at a wonderful God who has provided such beauty in His creation. So as I journey through these stunning landscapes of Big Bend, it taught me to embrace the joy that God intends for me, knowing that each ride is a gift and it's a chance to witness His glory firsthand and to be grateful for the experience of being alive for such a time as this. A time that is awe-inspiring right here in my own backyard, my Texas. How did we get there? What's good, Faith family? It is your girl and Miss Cavatiga, and the day has finally arrived when we are headed into Big Bend National State Park. And guys, I know it's been a journey, but I thank you all for hanging in there with me. Because like I said, life off the bike happens, and there's been so much going on that I hope to share with you guys in the upcoming weeks and months ahead. But for now, let's get back to this ride we did from Houston, Texas to Alpine, Texas to take on Big Bend National Park. So before riding through Big Bend National State Park, we stopped at the iconic National Big Bend State Park sign so we can get our group photo, because at the time I was still operating as the chapter's photographer. But your girl had something else in mind, because Harley Davidson riders have this challenge coin that they get, and they can take their pictures with by state monuments and everything, and Harley will send them a state coin to show that they participated or that they rode through that particular state or they saw a particular monument. But there's nothing like that for Can-Am Spider riders until I found this. Wanderer charms. Now listen, I am not endorsed by them at all, and I do not get paid, so I'm just putting that out there. They ain't paying me to do this, but it is a cool way to show that you rode through a state and that you saw a particular monument. And like they say, everyone who roams is not lost. And so I was so glad that I came across these little bitty charms that you can buy and purchase and put them on a cool key ring to show what states you've rode your bike through and what monuments you actually saw. And they had one for Big Bend National State Park. Now how cool is that?
There you go. Are you swapping coats?
Nope.
All right.
It's official. Big Bend. It's official. Big Bend. And I got my token.
I want to wait.
Yay!
Not bad for someone who, struggled with fear and putting faith forward. Listen, your girl did that.
Okay. Both of us. Let's see what they think. I have an annual pass.
So after taking our photos and our group photos, and your girl got to take a picture of her Wonder Charm with Big Ben, the picture of Big Ben on it, listen, I was done for the day. But we were not done for the day, because we still had some more riding to do to go deeper into Big Bend National State Park, as well as it was starting to heat up just a tad, which is why my husband asked me, was I getting ready to, or did I want to change jackets just yet? But listen, she is proud of me, because if someone would have asked me maybe 20 years ago, would I ever see myself doing something like this? It would be heck no. But God, let me tell you something. If under the sound of my voice, any new riders in this Faith Family channel, if you don't get anything out of my adventures, of the rides that I'm doing, of the things that God is doing within this channel and within my life as a Can-Am Spider rider, I hope you get that if I can do this, you can do this. Okay? Like I said, never in a million years would I've ever thought that I would be doing something like this. But listen, at some point, you have to cast your cares and your fears aside and step out on faith and start living life and being exposed to all the things that life has to offer and God has to offer. He doesn't want you sitting on the sidelines watching life go by and watching everyone enjoy life. And so for me, at 58 years old, to be able to do this, I am just so thankful to God for this opportunity. But listen, y'all, it was lunchtime. We did some riding and we were headed up this switchback mountain to have lunch. And the ride up this mountain was absolutely beautiful. So let's take it in. Here we are arriving at the Chisos Mountain Lodge, operated by Airmark, which is nestled deep within the Chisos Basin at an elevation of 5,400 feet. So we're trying to find somewhere to park all together to stage the bike, so when we get ready to leave out, we can all leave out together, in a group going back down the mountain. But more about this lodge. The lodge offers a variety of rooms and cottages, plus it has a gift shop and areas for camping for campers. It also has a wonderful restaurant which has a lookout that overlooks the Chisos Basin. The lodge is open year-round, and it is the only lodge available within the Big Bend National Park. So guys, if you are ever in my neck of the woods, in my Texas, and you want to see Big Bend, you have to check out the Chisos Lodge because it is absolutely beautiful. And the food wasn't that bad as well.
Okay, thank you.
Well, sure enough, after lunch, it started heating up, and your girl had to come up out of that jacket. But, there's no speeding through Big Bend National Park. We're just having a nice ride, meandering through the curves and the long, slow hills and all of that beautiful stuff. So it was pretty much okay. All right. I'm not going to get into all the details. You guys know the ride safe and all that good stuff. But look, it was heating up, and like I said, if y'all been following me, y'all know me and Heat, we working out our issues together. But listen, this ride through Big Bend National Park had so much to offer, so many things unfolded around each corner till I really can't show it all. So you guys are just gonna have to take my word for it, and come to Texas and see it. But you can kind of tell the landscape changed from everything being green, us riding through it, and then now all of a sudden it is like the desert. And so here we are making our way to Boquillas. I guess I'm pronouncing it right, but it is right deep in the Rio Grande, and at the overlook of this particular location, you can see into Mexico. You can see Mexico. You can also see the little river and people crossing. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But here we are making our way there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And somewhere along this route, there was a fox on the side standing near some bushes, a gray it was like a sandy color fox, and I've tried to go back through my footage to find him to really get a good photo of him, and he was just like a blink away. But here we are rolling into Boquillas. Like I said, I guess this is how you pronounce it, but it is a deep canyon, and it overlooks you can see the little city of Mexico, and you can go down into that area and take a little boat, whatever, little canoe, and go over to the other side and go and hang out and go and eat. But I was told if you do so, you do it at your own risk. So I ain't trying to do none of that. But it was very interesting, based on where we are in our country, to actually see what was going on firsthand down there by the border. And I'm just going to leave it like that because this channel does not get into politics. So with that being said, let's get back to why we were here. which is to discover and to see Big Bend National State Park. And, right behind me, the natives from the other side, they bring over all of these beautiful hand-carved potteries and craft work that they have, and it's on our honor system. So, you can take what you want and leave a donation, and they, come back over there some kind of way, and they get it, whatever. But I didn't purchase anything because my goal was to take that iconic Women of On-Road photo of me and my Win sisters right here on our bikes with our helmets in the air to show, triumph, to show unity, to show fellowship, to show that we are out here experiencing life on the open road. And so, your girl wasn't into buying none of that stuff over there. I wanted to get this photo and get our bikes positioned, because when I tell you riding through Big Bend was a motorcycle rider's dream, as far as riding your bike through hills and curves and the landscape, and just being able to get some beautiful photos of riding in this particular scenery. It was gorgeous. And so I was not going to let this opportunity pass me by to get that photo taken. And we got it. We nailed it. And after nailing that Women of On-Road iconic helmet in the air photo, our fellow Win brother wanted to get a photo of us for social media, for I think it was Instagram. And so he was showing us how to, do this walk around on one side. Y'all, we wasn't getting it at all. So he kept trying to work with us, but it got to the point where we were holding each other's hands and dragging each other around. I don't think we nailed it, but we had a good time trying.
I'll send it to you too. You look at it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
And I want to look at it. You can look at it.
Now I know who to call when I need my Kenya photo.
We had an absolute wonderful time on top of this overlook. And, what was interesting to me is that for a minute, I started looking around, and there you go. You can see them, see the boats. But I started looking around, and I'm like, okay, we're going to be up here a minute. Let me go and stand under a tree or something. And that's when it hit me. Ain't no trees. There was the sun was having its way with us, and it was hot. So it was time to go. And the interesting thing about riding through Big Bend National Park that I learned is that it's very secluded, you guys. It is absolutely secluded. And so we made sure that we filled our bikes up with gas. We rode on eco mode. And because, if you run out of gas, you just run out of gas. There's nothing there. I think at one of the visitor centers, there's a gas station kind of before you get deep into the park by one of the other visitor centers locations. But outside of that, there was nothing. So the guys told us to put our bikes on eco mode, and which is why we just kind of did a really nice slow pace ride through Big Bend, because we didn't want to burn through our gas, because we had a lot of riding to do. Because after leaving out of Big Bend, we were headed to Fort Stockton, where this vacation ride was rounding up and ending up coming to a close. And so yeah, but we had a lot of miles to do between that point and where we are now. So let's get back to this ride. As we left Big Bend National Park and made our way towards Fort Stockton, the beautiful ride for Des and me was coming to an end as we prepared to return to Houston. Meanwhile, the other riders were headed to Kerrville, Texas for the second leg of the vacation ride with other members. I took one last look at the place that had filled me with pride and blessed me with an unforgettable experience. It was here that I left a little bit of my DNA behind due to a fall, which reminded me to slow down, be present, and to respect God's creation. That fall in the middle of the wilderness didn't diminish my spirit. Instead, it taught me how resilient I had become and how strong I truly was. The Big Bend wilderness was an incredible teacher, raw, unforgiving, and full of wisdom. It taught me resilience, reminding me that survival often comes down to adaptability when riding on the open road. And it showed me patience in ways the river carves through stone over millions of years. And with limited cell phone service, it offered solitude, stripping away distractions so I could hear my own thoughts more clearly. Leaving Big Bend felt like leaving home to go home. Riding my bike through Big Bend was like traveling a place where I felt understood, where my heart and soul and spirit felt at ease and connected to God, the creator of this beautiful place right here in my own backyard, my Texas. Big Bend revealed humility, and it emphasized how small I am in the vastness of nature. For others, it may have sparked curiosity with every hill, curve, and relentless test of strength and endurance in this heat out here. Therein lies the lesson from this adventure, the freedom of riding through the wilderness and the perspective gained from it. You know, there's something about riding through an untamed world on three wheels that redefines what freedom feels like. The open landscape, solitude, and the raw beauty reminds us of how vast this world is and how small yet connected we are within it. Experiencing the breathtaking beauty of Big Bend for the first time while riding my Can-Am Spyder through the park was truly a blessing. The stunning landscapes, unique terrain made for an unforgettable adventure. It promised my soul that this would not be my last ride through this extraordinary wilderness. This was just the beginning of a more beautiful adventure in my backyard, my Texas.